Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Yes, everything here is looking a little bit different. That will be next week's video. However, today we're going to be checking out the Eufy Smart Lock C220. This is the latest product from Eufy, and I am very excited to say that I didn't actually buy this one myself today. They sent it to me. Granted, they're not paying me, but they did send this to me to review, and it's real exciting because this is brand new and I can't wait to show it to you guys. I don't even know anything about it, but we're gonna learn along the way, and I'm gonna share everything I can so that you know if this is the right smart lock for you. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the unboxing. This guy looks like it comes in a big sleeve here. There we go. And there is our Deadbolt. So this is a big Deadbolt lock that has a lot of really cool features. So this guy here is a balance between a lot of the other ones that they offer. So right now they have ones that offer like a pin pad like this one and just a simple lock like this. But they also have ones that have a fingerprint. Well, this one has a fingerprint and the pin pad. They also have ones that offer cameras on it and other things built in, but this at its price point is a mix of some of their higher end ones and some of their entry level ones, and you end up right here with some really cool features and a really balanced price. I think this is going to be a really good price for what we have today. So let's go ahead and start by looking here at this piece. This is all metal. It's hard to tell. All metal design, real sturdy guy right here. This is our Deadbolt end. So this is the indoor side where you can just turn the lock yourself manually, as well as where we will store our power, aka batteries. This guy runs off of 8 AA batteries. And I'm very happy to say, yes, batteries are included. We have a mounting plate to assist with the mounting and whatnot. Underneath this plastic guide, we have more stuff. I'm going to assume this is manuals and maybe some stickers. Yeah, so that people know that your home is protected by Eufy. Have our quick start guide. It'll talk us through installation and everything we need to know. And then right here we have our strike plates and everything that will match our security lock here. And then we also have our Deadbolt lock. And then our 8 AA batteries. So it looks like these are not rechargeable batteries, but Eufy says they're good for 8 months. I would recommend going and finding some rechargeable batteries so you can just constantly be swapping those guys out as you need. And then we have our keys that have the word Eufy right on them. Alright, and here's everything that comes in the packaging with your Eufy Smart Lock. Let's go ahead and start on the tutorial for installation. Alright, so this should be a reasonably easy process. Most of you probably already know I have a digital lock already here. So we're going to go ahead and remove this guy and get prepared to install the new one. Alright, the first thing we're going to install is this guy right here. Most deadbolts come in pretty standard sizes where it's either this shortened one or you'll actually twist them and all of them are the exact same, and then it'll extend out just like that. I'm pretty sure mine is the short version. We'll then slide this guy in here just like that. And then we can go ahead and install the screws. Step 2 is going to be to install our exterior assembly. Might need to get some paint to do some touch-up work here. Next, we're going to go ahead and install our interior assembly here. We got our electrical connector there, and then this will go on here like that. There'll be 2 long screws that will go through here and connect to these nuts right there. Alright, now that we've got our touchpad installed and our back plate attached with these 2 long screws, we can then take the plug and connect it to our control assembly here, just like that. And then next we'll align these 2 here to plug into each other, just like that. Now there's 3 of these little black screws. We're going to run them in here, here, and then down here. Once you've got your 3 screws installed, we're now ready to install with our 8 included batteries. Make sure you keep this fabric tab hanging out. All right, we can now install our interior plate cover here, and then we have a little rubber cap that goes over the hole down here. We're good to go. Let's go ahead and start setting it up in the app. All right, now that we got it all installed here, we can use the quick start guide. In the back we have a QR code to download the app and set this guy up. When setting this up, there is a QR code on the top here that you'll have to scan to be able to connect to the app. One issue I ran into is my app was not up to date. Make sure you update your app. Mine wasn't showing when I went to update it. If you go into the app within your settings on your phone, you might be able to find in there, you should be able to find out if there's an update. All right, now that we've got it all installed, we're gonna connect it to my phone here. And it says first to long press the setup button until you hear a beep. Heard a beep. And we're going to allow it to search for it via Bluetooth. There we go. We can now add it to our Wi-Fi. There we go. Next, it's going to have us close and lock the door here. And now it's asking us to create a PIN code for the door. Now we get to register our fingerprints. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start with my thumb. Put it on a couple of different ways.
Please slightly adjust the position of your finger on the sensor.
Okay. Finished. Okay, it's got my thumb. Oh, let's do an update. All right, so it had to do a software update, but now we're in the app. We can go ahead and manage access. We can say, hey, there's me, and we can add fingerprints. So this is super easy. You just hit add new. And now we can say start enrollment, and then it wants you to put your finger on in a different way each time. So we'll go this way, there. Ooh. All right, and we got my left thumb. To unlock it, you just push the fingerprint button. And then you can lock it by long pressing the shield in the bottom right corner. Super easy. All right, we need to go ahead and turn off these notifications. I don't need to know every time it locks and unlocks. So back here at the main screen, so from your home screen, you'll go here, hit the settings here in the corner. Settings. Now we can go to notifications and we'll just turn them off for now. You can see all of the cool features. We'll do a whole video about this later, but this is just going to be the basics for now. You can integrate it with your doorbell. So if you have a doorbell camera, you can say, hey, you know, unlock, lock, unlock. So we can go integrate now. You can see I already have a doorbell. We can say connect, and then there we go. So if we go over to our doorbell here, there's now a button at the bottom left corner of our doorbell that can lock and unlock this door here using the doorbell. All right, and that is the basic tutorial for the Eufy Smart Lock C220. That's how you'll set it up and how you connect it to the app and get the app set up. It's super user-friendly, and I love that there's so many different options for unlocking it and locking it. Whether you can set up timers to say, hey, always lock it this time and unlock here, or whatever you need. You also have the option to use like a PIN code. You can create a PIN code for somebody. You can add fingerprints. So we have like me, my wife, and if you have kids, you can add all of your kids, and they can have different, like, hey, they're allowed to lock it and unlock it certain times of the day kind of thing. Or you know what, we got our neighbor down the street, they're allowed to come in between these times of day kind of stuff. And you know what, if it's late at night, we're gonna take away their authority, but it'll be saved in the system. Or you can create a code for them that will then be saved in the system, which makes it really easy. Or if you're just on the other side of the country, it doesn't matter. As long as you have internet access, you can simply just unlock it from your phone, from the app. It's super cool. And like if somebody's at your doorbell, you pull up the doorbell camera, you're talking to them like, oh yeah, here, boop, It's built into the app. It unlocks the door while they're standing right there. They can come on in, take care of your dogs, whatever you got going on. I think that this has got some really, really cool features. Granted, this is not new. This is the fingerprint on a Deadbolt is not brand new. This is Eufy actually bringing affordability to the market on devices like this. So Eufy has had smart locks like this, but they've had ones that are like on the high end. They have like cameras in them. They have the fingerprints in them. And then other ones of like, hey, we just have the pin pad, or, you know, simplified things. So they've had ones at the more affordable end of the market, and then they also have ones at the higher end that are more expensive end. And if you want to get those, by all means, go ahead and check those ones out. But this one has found itself in the happy medium, where it has a fingerprint scanner, it has app compatibility, it has the pin pad and a key entry. So you have all these different options that touch into the high end without going into the further high end. They're like $300 camera ones that are built in. So this is that happy medium in between. I think this is a really great option. But let's go ahead and go over the pros and cons. I have a list of 4 or 5 pros and cons of each one. So let's go ahead and start with the 4 pros. The 4 things that I love about this. Number 1, the Deadbolt latch doesn't catch. So on my quickset locks, I did video series about a year ago where I replaced all the locks in my home with a single brand so I could rekey them all to the same key, whatnot. But the Deadbolts, when we go to latch them, if the door isn't just right, it doesn't latch. And for some reason, this Eufy one, it works flawlessly. No, it doesn't catch, it doesn't stick, it has no problem locking. Whether we slam the door, whether we just barely latch the door, it locks, which is fantastic. Number 2, obviously the fingerprint sensor. I love being able to, like, I don't have to sit there and put in a code. I don't need to get my keys out. I can literally just tap it, unlocked, and I walk in. Super easy. I love that. Next one is app control from anywhere. We've talked about this already. Literally anywhere you are in the world, as long as you have internet access, you can unlock and lock this. So if you're like driving to work and you're like, oh no, did I lock the door? Pull over, open up the app, lock the door, we're good to go, move on our way. It's also compatible with Alexa and Google devices, so we can just say things like, Alexa or Google, lock the door, and it will lock the door for me. If it's not already locked. And then lastly is, I found this out after I already installed it, but if you don't want to use the paper guide, once you scan the QR code on the top of it, or I found out that there's a QR code somewhere on the box here, that QR code as well will open up the quick start guide that'll actually show you a video tutorial of how to install this smart lock, which I think is super smart, because that's kind of the whole reason I make videos on YouTube, is because I'm like, man, there's not like a good video out there on how to already do this. But they've already done it, and it's in the app, built in from the manufacturer, so you already know it's going to be high quality. Hopefully it's not too boring or slow. All right, now on to the things that I don't like about this. So in the installation, the first thing I ran into was the screws are not magnetic. I think they're made from aluminum. So I have a screwdriver that's got a magnetic tip, and like the screws will stick to it. Well, unless it's not magnetic, and so when I go to like put it in, I kept on dropping the screw and it drove me bonkers. I'm used to working in a trade that I'm working with screws all day, and so I just put a screw on my screwdriver, I can let it go and then drive it in. Well, this is not an option. You have to hold it all the way until you get there, but like they even have those little ones have to go through a hole first, and so you have to like let it go while you're pushing it in. It was a whole thing. The next con, number 2, is you have to use the app to set it up, whether it's the user codes, anything beyond physically installing it and using just the keys. You literally have to use the app, which, like, my situation was I didn't have the update on the app, but I eventually got it figured out. We updated the app and I was able to get this set up the rest of the way. Speaking of keys though, I just mentioned all my other keys in my house are different than this now. And it would be really nice if these were easy to swap out to other keys. I don't know what the process of that would be like. I might talk to a locksmith about seeing if we can change out the locks or whatever, or just the key cylinders, so that it can all still just use one key for the whole home. The batteries that come with it, I do appreciate that it does come with batteries, but I wish that they were rechargeable. This is the only device I have from Eufy that isn't rechargeable. Everything else is either wired to the home, so it has power from like an actual wire coming from the home, or it's rechargeable. This is the first thing I've ever gotten from Eufy that is not rechargeable. So I've already ordered these rechargeable batteries here that I'll just be able to swap out as needed, and also use them anywhere else around my home that I need AA batteries that are now rechargeable. And the last negative thing I have is it's gonna be kind of a blend. So while it can recognize a fingerprint in as little as 0.3 seconds, which is basically as quickly as you can touch it, locking it, you have to press and hold the lock button it's a long press, which is, I timed it, it's like 2 whole seconds. Which, like, when you can unlock it in 0.3 seconds, like, why not make any action on it be an action to lock it or unlock it? I wish that that was an option, or even like something in the app that I could say, hey, you know, if I push the fingerprint and it's locked, you know, unlock it. But if I also push it and it's unlocked, or even just let me do a short press on the shield in the bottom right corner, let me do a short press on there to be able to lock it quickly. But instead you have to press and hold it for 2 seconds, or put in the pin code and hit the lock button. And hopefully my video wasn't too boring or slow. But this is the Eufy Smart Lock C220. One of my favorite things about Eufy, and granted, I don't imagine people will expect this with a smart lock, but you don't have to pay monthly fees. You never have to pay monthly fees. Any of their cameras, any of their stuff, you don't have to pay a monthly fee. Once you own it, and it just works. It's fantastic. It's worth it. I will have links for this down in the description below, as well as links for like the batteries that I was mentioning before, and links to a playlist of all of my other home security things that I've done here. If you want to check that out, links will be in the description of this video. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments of this video. If you think I've earned it, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.